Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. So I have a super full face of makeup on today because I'm going to be showing you how to contour and highlight. I'm not just going to put the colors on my face, but I'm going to apply them and tell you why I'm going to apply them and why it benefits you and what you're doing. You get what I'm saying? The heads up, I am going to be using these Quick Fix Sticks by Dermable. These are awesome for contouring and highlighting because one, the shape, it's like a little stick, so it's super easy to contour and highlight with, and also a little bit of these goes like a super long way, so you know, you just want to use like a touch and not be too generous with these because you will have a face full of makeup. So you just take a little swipe and then you'll see how I use them, but just know a little bit of these goes a really long way. These are awesome for contouring and highlighting because of their shape and because of how easily they blend out. So I have a link to all the products that I'm using from Dermable down below, as well as a discount code called Face Sculpt, and you can save $10 to $15 off your products, and more information is down in the description box, so check that out. But anyways, we're just going to jump right in this video, and we're going to get started on contouring and highlighting our face. Yay! To start off contouring and highlighting, I'm going to go ahead and add primer and foundation to my face. For primer, I'm going to be using the NYX Angel Veil Skin Perfecting Primer, and I like to use this one because it is oil-free and it smooths out the skin, leaving you with a flawless finish for underneath your makeup. That way when your makeup sits on top of it, it looks really good. Typically, I just apply this in places that need a little bit more smoothing out because we are going to be using heavy makeup today. I especially like the fact that it's oil-free. Next, I'll add foundation. I'm going to be using the Maybelline Matte and Poreless. This is one of my favorite foundations, and I am in color 220. And I'm just going to be applying a thin layer of foundation. You don't want to go too heavy because remember, we're going to be covering a lot of our face with the contour and the highlight. Alright, that part's done. So now we're going to move on to the highlighting section of this video. I'm going to be using Natural, which is a really good color for me. I normally go 1 to 2 shades lighter than my actual foundation color with the concealer that I'm choosing to use, which again, this is the Quick Fix by Dermable. When you're highlighting your face, what you're doing is you are pushing the areas out. You want these areas to look bright, happy, awakened, such as the under eye area. Whenever you highlight down the nose and the forehead, you're kind of pushing that area out. Therefore, you're not trying to sink it in and hide it. You want it to be shown and happy. So remember, you put the highlight in the areas that you want to stand out. You're highlighting it, get it? Starting out, I'm gonna take this concealer stick. The shape of it's nice because it allows for a precise application. I'm going to run this underneath the eye area. Like that. Now, I'm going to do a triangle shape rather than a rounded shape because the light naturally shines down on your face in a triangular shape. So this is going to give you more of a natural appearance rather than rounding it out in the under eye area. Sorry, and my voice is getting a little cracky. A little bit of this stuff goes a really long way, by the way. So if you notice, I apply it and then I'm kind of smoothing it out with my finger. Make sure you wash your hands if you're touching your face. So I have a small forehead, so I can actually bring my highlight up a little bit higher because that's going to push the forehead out and make it look just a little bit bigger because my forehead, it's super small once you see my whole face and like my hair is down. It looks really small. But if you have a big forehead at this point that you want to make it look smaller, you're going to bring your highlight to about here, maybe a little bit lower than midway because you don't want your forehead to stand out. If you love your big forehead, well then by all means, do your thing, girl. In a highlighter pen, I'm literally going to do like 2 swipies and I'm just going to kind of, I'm going to go ahead and cover the whole unibrow area too. So now what I'll do is I'll go ahead and run it down the nose. This is going to give us the illusion of a perfectly straight, skinny, symmetrical nose. Just running that highlight straight down. So it even connects to the forehead area. Now I want my lip area to look nice, big, and plump. So what I'm going to do is add just a little bit to the upper lip area. Now I want my chin to be a little bit more poked out and nice and rounded. Just gonna add a little bit right there. So now what I like to do is add a little bit right here. And a wee bit right here. I mean, you can even add just a touch with these sticks and just blend it with your finger. That way you don't get too much product on your face. It's not gonna actually touch the chin, but it's gonna come down pretty far and we'll actually blend all this up. That is the highlighted areas. These are the areas I want to stand out. I want that beautiful jawline. I want my under eyes to look fresh and awake. I want my forehead to look a little bit bigger, my nose to look straight, and my chin to look perfectly round. Now we'll talk about contouring. I'll be using bronze and the Quick Fix Stick, same product. Looks the exact same. A little bit goes a long way. Don't forget it. Typically, to make the forehead look smaller, you'll go ahead and hit the areas where the sun will naturally hit, which is the temple areas. And this is going to give you more of a natural type of contour rather than a super harsh contour. So what I'm going to do, again, because a little bit goes a long way, I'm literally just going to do like 3 dots. And then I'm just going to kind of tap it to move the color around with my finger. And then I'll do like literally the smallest amount right here. That should be enough for the forehead for me, and I'm actually going to bring my highlight up a little bit more. Contouring your nose, you can literally make your nose look almost any way that you want it to. I have a pretty skinny nose, but if I neglect contouring it, it just doesn't match my face because I have like this structured face and my nose is like white from the highlight. So I want to contour my nose even though it's pretty skinny. Like it's a skinny pointy nose, but that's okay. So normally I will run the smallest amount straight down the nose on each side. So if you want a little cute button rounded nose at the tip, you can even kind of come across the end of the nose right there, and you can just like blend that part out too. For the cheekbone areas, this is my favorite part of contouring, just making those cheekbones pop. You can slenderize your face a ton by contouring your face the right way. So what I'm going to do, I'm pulling this hair back because I want to start in about the center of the ear, right about here where the tragus is. And I want to bring it, but if you bring it too far, it can start to look like you have like a mustache or like a 5 o'clock shadow growing. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to apply the product like that, a very thin amount. Same thing over here. This is like a Duo Fiber little foundation brush. I don't even know where it's from. It's just super affordable little cheap brush here. And I'm just gonna add a little bit more. Really want to keep a straight line right here, that way you have a sharp, nice, crisp contour. If you move it around too much, you can kind of just look like you have a really rounded brown cheek and it's not really doing anything as far as changing the structure of your face. So you have to blending it. I'm talking about with the lightest hand possible. If you don't have a lot of time to blend your contour, I highly recommend doing maybe just bronzing up the face. But if you have a lot of time to do your makeup, well then by all means contour away. But basically, you see how I'm not moving the product down any. I'm focusing on really moving it up rather than down. And that way we're keeping that straight line. What I'm doing here is spreading out the product on the face, and that way the product can get settled where it needs to be. And that way the body heat from my skin and my body is going to warm this up, and it's going to make it even easier to blend out. But I want to first place the product where it needs to go. Literally just add a little bit, and as you can see, it's just going to end up giving you that perfectly round, beautiful chin. As you can see, like that little bitty swipe, look how much it blended out and covered. It's crazy. The product now has set on my face for probably 5 to 10 minutes. The highlight 10 minutes, the contour probably more like 5 minutes. It's warmed up. The more it's warmed up, the easier it is to blend out. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in with my Beauty Blender and I'm going to blend out the highlight. Beauty Blender is dampened, and a very important part you should know about this before you start blending is you not want to move this product around. We place this product in a particular area to do certain things to our face, so you don't want to like bring the highlight all the way out here or just move it around crazy. You want to keep it in the same place. You wouldn't believe how much a product would blend out by just simply dabbing and pushing it into the skin. It's going to blend out. It's just going to take a little bit more time. This is like a really great product to blend out that highlight. So I'm not going to be swiping. I'm going to be more dabbing to keep it in the particular area that we've strategically placed it in. For the nose area, because it's such a tiny, precise area, I'm actually going to use my little finger right here, and I'm just literally going to dab it out with my finger. Now we'll work on blending out this contour. I prefer using a brush when blending out my contour, so I'm going to go in with this little Duo Fiber brush. I'm going to start swiping. I'm using the lightest hand possible because again, this is going to take a little bit of time. That way it is nicely. I'm actually going to blend it out into my hair. That way it looks more natural. I'm going to do these teeny tiny circular motions, being sure not to blend it too hard down here because I don't want to mess up that perfect little line that we created. Bringing it around the forehead, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to blend it into my hair. And then so this sharp line right here from the highlight looked really unnatural, and we're actually going to blend our contour on down, and that way that's going to soften that up a little bit, and that way we don't have any harsh lines and everything looks really nice and gradient. Same thing with the nose area, I'm just going to soften that up a little bit with my finger. Now we are nice and blended out. But we're not done yet. So I have so much cream product on my face right now that if I just walked away, it would start to move and slough. We have to set it, and that is super crucial when doing this. So I'm gonna be using this setting powder from Dermablend. This is their professional setting powder. So what I like to do is just knock a little bit out into the lid. I'm gonna take this brush right here, which is dome shaped, so it's perfect for getting up in the highlight. We're setting the highlight first, by the way. I'm gonna get a little on the brush, tap it off, and then I'm literally gonna just press it. Look how lightly. Now we're gonna sharpen up our line a little bit, or where we moved it a touch. What I will literally do, this is a form called cooking. What it's gonna do is let my body heat naturally warm up this powder, and it's going to set this concealer for days. It's gonna make the highlight last longer. It's gonna help it not to crease, mainly last longer. And also I noticed with the highlight under the eyes, the eyeliner and mascara can kind of run down into it if you don't have a powder to set it. So it's gonna prevent all of that, and it's gonna make it even brighter, and it's even gonna sharpen up and clean up this contour a little bit. So it does a number of great things, and we're gonna cook. We're not just gonna rub it in and apply it. I apply an abundant amount in strategic places, and I'm gonna let it set there and let my natural body heat warm up the powder and make everything work just so much better and be more intense. 15 minutes gone by. Same brush going back in. I'm going to very gently just swipe away that excess. Because our contour has faded a little bit just because we've been doing so much highlighting, I'm going to go in with a little bit of my Urban Decay powder. This is actually a foundation powder by them, and it's a little bit too dark for me, so it's perfect for setting the contour. I'm going to take a little brush like this, about medium size, and I'm actually just going to run it right on top of the contour, and I'm just going to really light hand. I'm just going to start blending it out, and basically I'm going to keep that nice stripe on my face, and I'm just going to soften it up. Just the upper part of it, doing small circular motions with a really light hand. As far as the nose goes, I'm just going to take a little bitty bit of the bronzer, like the smallest amount, and I'm just going to set the nose as well. Typically at this point I would then go in and add just a little bit of blush and whatever highlighter I wanted to add. And this is our finished look.